I think Jeff Nippard, you guys know my friend Jeff Nippard, has put some studies up showing the activation is really good for your rear delts when a rear delt fly. Now, those of us who actually use common sense and can actually feel our muscles working know that this is true. A rear delt fly is great for your rear delts. So the argument is, well, you don't get full arm extension, you don't get back all the way. Not every single exercise you do has to be a complete crazy range of motion. This is a great example of an exercise that's awesome just by itself. You don't have to get a crazy range of motion. So I like to do them on a machine. I'm going to show you right here. This is actually a really nice prime machine where you can load the end if you want. You can load the beginning. You can play around with the resistance curve. But basically, it's just like this. Notice I've got a little bend in my elbows and I've got my arms locked. I'm just using my rear delt. As I fatigue, I'll probably get a little traps. That's okay. The rear delts are still getting crushed. Now you don't have to pin your shoulders back or pin them forward. Just let the natural movement flow, okay? So just let it flow. Flex, like any exercise. You want to flex, flex. Now this machine, burning already. So this machine, I'm using a pronated grip. Some machines, it's a little better, or they're suited so you can use a neutral grip. Either way is fine, whichever one you feel the best. So neutral grip for me, it gets a little bit of side delt too, which is fine. So you could do them this way, or you could do it this way. I've kind of gravitated more toward the pronated grip here in the last probably 5-10 years. But for many years I did them with a neutral grip. Now, you can also do a dumbbell raise, right here. Those are awesome. So if you choose to go that route, I'm gonna show you a brutal way to make these work. So I'm gonna grab some dumbbells. That was quick, I'm back. So if you're going to use dumbbells, you can do the same thing with your grip. You can either do a pronated, or you can do it neutral. I've done both. Now here's the thing. If you want to annihilate your rear delts, I want you to go to failure with full range of motion, which basically means coming up sideways, or coming up to here. And then I want you to do what I call swings, hanging swings. So let's say you do as many as you can this way. Now let's say you can't get them up all the way. That's okay. Let your arms hang and just swing. It's only a partial range of motion. It's only the bottom third of the movement. Absolute fire. I will put that up against any rear delt exercise the gurus want to throw at you. So 10 or 15 reps, full range of motion, 10 or 15 hanging swings. That's another awesome alternative. You could do that, or you could do the machine here. But your first exercise, I want you to do a reverse fly. Plain and simple, in my opinion, the best rear delt exercise you can do. All right, now, so as I mentioned, maybe you can't get full extension on the rear delt flies, but you can on these, and you can load them with a little heavier weight. I'm gonna do a row with dumbbells. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my elbows are coming out. They're not tucked in. They're coming out this way. And I'm going to use a pronated grip. I'm also not coming out real wide. I'm kind of coming up medium, and I'm coming back as far as I can. And I'm really squeezing my rear delts as hard as I can. I'm squeezing, bam, bam, bam. Whew. Those are absolute, that weight was pretty light, but those are absolute fire, in particular after doing the flies. Now, the mind-muscle connection is really important on these. If you are just moving the weight randomly, You might feel this in your traps, your rhomboids, you may feel in your biceps. But if you really focus on your rear delts and contracting your rear delt, it will light your rear delts up. Is it going to work your rhomboids a little, or your traps? Yes, it will. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I want you all to do though is really focus on squeezing that rear delt. Bam, squeeze it. Now, truthfully, this combination here, these two exercises is all you need. And you guys know I love variety. I love variety. But these two exercises should be the bulk of what you do 90% of the time for your rear delts. But we are going to do a third exercise. So let's move on to that. All right, for our third exercise, I'm going to do a face pull. Now, a lot of people think this is like the ultimate exercise. I think they're okay. I think it's a good exercise. I would never ever put these above the first two exercises we did. I do like these for shoulder health though. So we're going to do a face pull with a little bit of external rotation. A lot of people will say, well, your rear delts help externally rotate, so you should train them that way. You can do all the external rotation you want. If that's the only rear delt work you do, you will not get big rear delts. Plain and simple. But it is a nice little exercise to finish with, get a little extra shoulder health. So we're going to grab a rope and pull from the bottom. So I'm pulling up a little bit of external rotation here. You can just do the straight face pull too this way. I actually like the straight face pull for rhomboids and lower traps. But again, if you want to throw in the external rotation, so that will be your third exercise. You can throw in, again, I think that's more of a health exercise, a shoulder health, which is good. But again, those first two exercises we did, those are the money exercises. I promise you, if you make those two your bread and butter for rear delts, you will get better rear delts. So that's the three exercises for today. You could do this, knees, you probably want to do about 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. You could do these twice a week, maybe even 3 times a week. It's not something that you should get really, really sore from. Typically people's rear delts don't get really, really sore. But also remember, you're going to get a little bit of rear delt work when you're training your back heavy too. Maybe not a ton of direct work, but it will still engage with your back. So you may think you're doing them twice a week, but you're actually getting some stimulation on the back workout too. So me personally, I would say do this twice a week. All right, I want to just throw one more thing at you. So just because you're doing 2 or 3 rear delt exercises doesn't mean you can't train your side delts and front delts. But if your rear delts are your priority, and for most people they should be, do those first. And just about everybody I train, their rear delts get trained first, then I move to their side delt, then I move to their front delt. There's a couple people I do their side delts first, but so what you would do in this case is if you're prioritizing rear delts, do the rear delt workout we did first, and then maybe do something for your side delts, 1 exercise, and then maybe 1 exercise for your front delts. So you're still giving them a little bit of stimulation, but don't think that you can't do extra stuff on top of this. You don't have to, but just want to throw that in as well.